So what does it take to succeed in the workplace? What are some of the skills we need to capture the job and stay on the job? Some of these skills are soft, some of these skills are technical, but in all, we have put together critical, lessons that can help us as individuals navigate that whole process of looking for, getting the job, doing well on the job, getting promoted, excelling to the highest level on the job. So basically that's what we're going to be looking at in today's class, okay? So get into it straight away. How do you start finding job as a facility manager right now? If you have all the skills, then you have one of what it takes. If you have the know-how in terms of how to apply your skills, then you have another of what it takes. And if you know how to market yourself and how to network to meet the right people, then again, that's another angle to it. So we're going to look at each of these dimensions to starting an FM job. I think the first thing is your marketing tool. The first thing is, what do you present out there? A resume, a CV, a profile on a professional network, they all do the same thing. They present who you are, all right? So being able to articulate in a structured manner, concisely, information about yourself in a resume is the first key skill you need to be able to sell yourself. And then networking with professional bodies, whether IFMA, AFMPN, that's the Nigeria FM initiative, BIFM, now IWFM in Nigeria, or any other FM organization, both local and international, will give you that contact with other facility management professionals. That way, you will build a relationship, you'll be able to exchange information and know when the opportunities are becoming open in those organizations. And then, of course, there are a lot of other approaches to finding a job. We'll talk about the informal network, the social and professional networks online, job boards, and so on and so forth. But in crafting your CV, and in moments when you are not able to have a CV handy where you need to actually sell yourself, you need to have certain strategic tools that when you have them handy, you will not find yourself wanting. One of such tools for projecting yourself, if you have that 10, 20, 30 seconds with a prospective employer, if you have that 10, 20, 30 seconds with a prospective investor, we talk about elevator pitches, right? This is for someone who's trying to get a job. You should have this tool called Me in 30 Seconds in your fingertips. It is called your own personal introduction of who you are, what you can do, what you want, okay? And these are the 5 parts of a Me in 30 seconds. In fact, you write down your response to these 5 parts, memorize it over and over and over until it becomes a part of you, and make sure it becomes handy. In fact, many people get this question of, please tell us about yourself during an interview. So you come in to sit down, or give us, something, a reason why we should employ you. So many questions will pop up that you require Me in 30 seconds. But the strongest requirement or need for it is in your presentation, your profile summary that's in your CV, that first paragraph where you tell, this is who I am. Your name, your full name, the job you want, which is your objective, why you will be good at that job. Now, everybody says things like, I want this job, and the reason I want the job is because I need money. Wrong answer. Or the reason I want the job is because I have family problems. Wrong answer. Nobody gives you a job out of pity. Forget about it. So the moment you say, this is the job I want, you must move on to establish what value you bring, what you are bringing on the table. I call this the what is in it for me question of the person you are talking to. WIIFM. Write that down. WIIFM. Now, WIIFM is a very strong concept that impacts everything from applications, to CVs, to interviews, to appraisals, to proposals for getting things done in your workplace, to marketing proposals, to, in fact, everything you do that requires someone you are talking to or communicating with to take an action that you want. You must help that person answer the question, what is in it for me? So in crafting your me in 30 seconds, after you've said your name, the job you want, the third component of me in 30 seconds is why you would be good at that job. So you state your qualifications. Most positions have a minimum qualification requirement, right? And then you go on to identify some traits or skills that will help you succeed in that job. What this number 4 basically is saying is, I have done something that proves my number 3. My number 4 is an evidence that supports my number 3. Why you will be good at that job is my qualification. The traits and skills that will help me succeed in the job are things that I've already experienced. They are things that will help me actually implement what I'll be asked to do on that job. So number 3 and 4 are very important. But then they both answer the question of the person you are talking with. The question of, why should I hire you? What's in it for me? What are you bringing on the table? Nobody wants to take on you on and only remember that they have to pay you at the end of every month. You must establish why they should take you on, and that's answering what is in it for me. WIIF. Finally, let these 30 seconds not get lost on the reason you are doing it. Don't forget why you are making all these projections. You have to make a commitment. In 30 seconds, you've told about yourself, you have explained or identified what you want, you have given a strong reason why you qualify, you've added a trait or skill that will help you succeed at the job, and you are giving a commitment question. So let's take this a simple question, a simple case scenario or example that we have in this material. Hello, my name is AK Sonia, and I want a job as site facilities manager in the mall. I have 3 years of site operations experience and a comprehensive FM training. My clients always rate me high on customer service. I am a process-driven FM, and my teams give me their best efforts. What position would you need my skills and experience for? Now, if you already know that there is a vacancy and that this person you are talking with is actively searching, then the commitment question will be different. Will you consider me for the vacant role of XYZ in your organization? Aha, that is specific. But in this case, I know that he's the operations manager in the mall or the owner of the mall. And, I might have gotten some information, but I'm not, there's nothing public about a vacancy. Nobody knows that he's actively hiring, and I cannot be talking to him based on grapevine information. Then the commitment question, what position would you need my skills and experience for, will be very much apt. Now, it's even possible that you have a clue, an inkling, that there's a vacancy in one area, not yet published, not yet announced, right? But just because you've presented yourself and your areas of strength, Another opportunity that you probably didn't have the thoughts existed might crop up in his head because of the way you've gone with your number one, your name, your objective. Mind you, anybody that wants any job should be jobless. You're not qualified for anything. All those, please, it doesn't matter. I'm ready to do anything. You are just telling the individual you have no value and there's nothing you are bringing on board. If you cannot push yourself to the point of actually being able to narrow your requirements to the point where you have an objective and you start saying, I've been looking for work for a while. Right now, it doesn't matter which job. Don't do that to yourself. I've seen people who do that. They have remained jobless from year to year. And when they end up with any job, within 3 months, they're already complaining. Within 6 months to 1 year, they are fired, they are home again for years, and they're still doing this, any job. Put in the effort to have an objective. What do you want with your career? What would you like to be doing now? Because that's what drove you in the first place to research this individual, this organization, even this random company that you don't know whether they have vacancies, but you know that you would love to work there. And you use this kind of email content as the body of the email, as cover letter, and then your CVs and qualifications attached in. I have called many people up just by looking at the quality of their presentation when I did not even have vacancies at the time. There are certain vacancies that I have not created, but I knew at some point I would need to create that vacancy and somebody is throwing that particular skill in my face. I start talking with them. So any job means you don't want a job. You have to have an objective and you must show what's in it for me, the employer. Why you will be good at the job as well as the traits and skills that will help you succeed at the job. So look at this, the traits and skill of Sonia in this particular experience, in this example. First, the qualification. I have 3 years site operations experience and a comprehensive facility management training. Some people have done biology, arts, home economics, fashion, communication, civil engineering, or anything as a degree. In facility management, there is really no high barrier. You just need to be able to learn the skills and gain the competencies. There are so many people that have gone into facility management and they're not taught it wise or necessary to acquire the skills. After many years of experience, when they are knocked off, they find it difficult to get back because they get set in stone, in their mind is set in their ways. They can't learn new skills unless they decide they want to go and learn. In essence, having some form of training in the field you want to professionalize in is very important. Even if your first degree had transferable knowledge and skills, very important. So talking about your qualification, don't throw on the table irrelevant degrees. I want to work as a facility manager. That was your objective. And the next thing you are telling me is, I have a BSc and a master's degree in zoology, or in anatomy, or in microbiology, or in medicine, or in law. Now, even if you do have those, they don't disqualify you. But because you are specific in this objective of FM, you will find some means of qualifying yourself for FM. It's just a Coursera $20 course. There's something you want to say that qualifies you for the job you're applying for. And what about these traits or skills that will help you succeed at the job? Listen to this. My clients always rate me high on customer service. Wow. That is a good thing. That's a good trait. I am a process-driven FM. My teams give me their best efforts. You need to be honest in making any of this assertion, because when we get to the next concept, we're going to learn on how to defend your position when you make some claims, then you will need some more information that will need to be verifiable. So don't put outlandish claims here. So the next concept is that of a power statement. The power statement is what you use to defend any of these traits or skills or experience line items in your main 30 seconds, in your CV, in anytime you're answering interview questions. It has 4 parts. First, you identify a value, skill, or strength. So if I go back to this main 30 seconds and I look at this, my clients always rate me in high on customer service, or I pick this, I'm a process-driven FM, or my teams give me their best effort. There are three skills or traits in that particular statement. Now, in a power statement, I will pick one out of those and I will build the evidence around it. So the power statement has 4 components. Number 1, identify a value, skill, or strength. And 2, give a specific example or accomplishment. You must be able to think and remember when you did something related to that skill. It may not even be in the kind of job. Let's assume you're coming into FM and your previous job was receptionist in a hospital. You see, there seems to be a very wide divergence between the receptionist in the hospital and the technical person or facility manager who is doing administrative duties in an estate, right? It looks like it's very wide apart. But if you are able to pick out the skills, the strengths, the value to the owner of the organization or the business that you exhibited in that surrounding and map it as a transferable skill or strength into facility management, because you now understand how facility management engages with people and how it helps optimize resources and so on and so forth. You pick one and then you give a specific example or accomplishment about it. You show the results. This is where the numbers and the objectivity comes in. And then you match value to the needs of the employer. This is where you create alignment. So if you take any skill, I see people write on their CV, detailed, self-driven. They write so many things, and we just drop that statement in our CV and we leave it there. That statement drops dead on that line. In fact, when I'm looking at CVs and I see all those often repeated cliches of qualities and values, I just scroll past them. After all, I have only about 1 minute or 2 minutes to read through your CV, by the way. So I won't have the time to read through that long list of meaningless words you put in your CV. But if you pick just 3 or 4 key skills that are relevant to the job you're interviewing for, and for each of them, you use 1 paragraph, when you are not too heavily, you don't have long experience, you struggle to make up 2 pages of CV, right? And if you are very experienced, you struggle to reduce your CV to 2, 3, or 4 pages if you have more than 15, 20 years of experience. So CV is always a problem. CV length is a problem for both parties. But if I'm addressing those people who are in the first 5 years, first 10 years of their careers, and they are making a list of qualities that they think is valuable to the employer. And by the way, don't list all your good qualities. List the ones that are valuable to the employers. Each one must have a power statement defending it. You must back your skill statement with these 4 components. Look at this example. I'm a creative and result-oriented. I am creative and result-oriented. What have you done? The skill I've identified is what? Creativity and results orientation. For example, at Max-Migold Limited, I created a new marketing plan and brochure that directly increased monthly sales by 15%. What have I done? A specific example of accomplishment, right? I'm confident I can help to improve your company's sales in the same way. So I have explained, I have shown results using a certain number, and I'm matching the value to the needs of the employer. I'm confident I can help you to achieve the same results. Okay? So every time you make a statement of, I'm good at this, think yourself, what additional evidence have I added to show that I'm telling the truth, that I actually know what I'm saying, that I'm even good at it in the first place? All right, so that's looking for work. You are trying to search everywhere. You're online every day, and it looks like as though you're putting all these efforts and it's not yielding results. Have you looked deeply enough? Have you done any research on how people actually find jobs? This research was done a few years ago, less than 10 years ago, and found out that 65% of people were searching online, going to advertisements in newspapers. There used to be certain newspapers those days, a particular day of the week, that you had to just buy, so you see all those vacancies in it. Still there. If there are 100 jobs out there, only 14 were found that way, even with the 65% of efforts. And all those job boards, whether government or private job placements, online job boards, where everything they do in those portals are job. Less than 30% of people go there to search for vacancies, but 21% of jobs are found through there. Because you're going straight to a portal, a system, an agency whose success depends on how many people they assist to help place. And then, this is where it really begins to play a trick on us if you're looking for work. Only 3% of people reach into their personal contacts with companies. You have a friend whose dad works somewhere, you know somebody in church who works so and so place, and you have people who are retired, who have networks in various companies, and you are not searching in this group, especially when you look at them and say, oh, these ones, they're not in the kind of league or level that I'm looking for. You never can tell how big that opportunity is. 3% of people use personal networks and contacts, but 30% of jobs are found this way. I can personally corroborate this. 4 in 10 of all my recruitments came through not the advertised apply, shortlist, interview process. No. 4 in 10, all time. I'm telling you, I've personally recruited at least 300 myself in the last 20, 25 years, have come through this. Somebody recommended somebody. An interview was created to see how the person will be fitted that role. And in 50-50 chance, an offer is made. Now, for the employer or the recruiter, how effective this is another question. But from the employee or the person being recruited's point of view, this is an opportunity you don't want to waste. People start saying things like, oh, it's by connection, it's this and that. There's no way we can refute that. But it's only those that know that they have connection that use it. Those who undermine their own connection Don't see it as anything important. Don't use it. So connection will not still work for you if you don't believe that you already have connections. Especially if you are the type that wants to keep a secret all the time about everything happening to you. You know how we Nigerians would like to, make a secret over I've graduated, make a secret over I'm traveling to even Cotonou, make a secret over, anything. And as such, you have not picked out the right people, analyze them to start contacting about your job needs, especially those who are used to begging relatives for money. Instead of going to say, this is what I'm skilled at, this is what I've trained for, using your power statement and in 30 seconds to sell yourself to them so that they can also carry that and parrot it for you and sell you, you go begging for free meals. So if you add personal contacts with companies and word of mouth, you have 8% of job efforts. People looking in this direction is just 8%, but the result is 65%. We call this the hidden job market. It is huge. It has low competition. You don't have a crowd on the day of the interview. By the way, every time I've taken up a job in all my career, it's always been like this. Always. There's always some desperation in certain quarters for my skills. So the moment they hear about my skill, they invite me. I've been at some point with some headhunter trying to get me into an international role, and he calls and calls and calls and calls for a long time. 2-3 months, he's still calling me every now and then. They approach other candidates and they come back to me. I make a very hefty demand on them, and they say, you know what, will you be ready for a flight next week to London? Let's tidy up this. Okay, I have my visa, let's go. I go to London, we have a discussion with the client, the head of FM for the globe for that organization. Oh, yes, you'll be right for this role. It's almost like a chat. I didn't see a crowd that, oh, it's your turn next. No, somebody already told them, I've gone through this guy, I've viewed him, he's showed me that he's the best person for the position. There's no contest. Just please talk to him and see if he will accept your offer, because that's exactly what needs to happen. And if you build yourself to this, this level, even leaving companies will be, something that you are not the one afraid to leave. The company is the one afraid that you will leave. They'll treat you better because you have built confidence in yourself. You've learned how to acquire the skills that's relevant to your objective, and you've learned how to market those skills so you can win or obtain your objectives. When you get to interviews, I have all these regular comments that come to me every time. Oh, I've been invited for an interview. I even got one today. I've been invited for an interview. So company. I know you know the company. What should I be focusing on? It's really two simple focus. First, focus on yourself. What value do you have? Why are they even inviting you? What do you think qualifies you? If they hire you, what's the need for them? That's the first area. So you take time to articulate. There'll be interview questions, there'll be written tests, there'll be all kinds of things. You must be ready. The second thing is, don't approach any interview without knowing about the client or that organization. You look very selfish, unprepared, not ready, if as at the time you are going for the interview, all you know about the organization is their name. It means that you don't even know, you won't even know exactly how you can, what problem you are coming there to solve, right? So you must learn about the organization and create an alignment between you, your value, what you know, and the organization's need, who the organization is, and why you will be the best for them. Okay. So you are at the interview and you hear a question like, what can you tell me about yourself? What the interview wants to know is she prepared? And what's your tool for this? Me in 30 seconds. You've created it, you've crafted it. You've thought about it, you've memorized it. You flow with it. You can go to an interview, introduce yourself, and you use me in 30 seconds. You know all those, a family of 6, my father has 2 wives, I'm from Oshobo. Crap, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody's asking you for those. It's your me in 30 seconds. By the way, stereotypes of interviewers are actually fed by the kind of answers we give. Many of us are hopeful that there is going to be a coincidence that this guy is from Oshobo. So if I mention I'm from Oshobo, boom, I'll have a hit. If that's what made you get the job, forget it. You were not the most competent and that job will not last. Besides, you will not even get better because you know that you didn't get it because you are the best. So focus on me in 30 seconds. Qualities, values, principles, skills. What's the need for me? Answering on behalf of the person asking you the question. What are your strengths? Does this person have the experience? So where do you go? Power statements. I have a strength in this. Nice. Good line you just mentioned. But please break it down. Give us a sense that what you are saying is true. Don't just drop that line and keep quiet. They look at you like, okay, one of those that come here with plenty words come and drop. But the moment you use a power statement to amplify it, 10 seconds, 15 seconds extra, that one strength sinks in. When they ask you, what's your weaknesses? I've heard people try to use a strength as a weakness. Oh, my weakness is that I work too hard. People see through that charade. It's a scam you're trying to pull off. Who told you I'm going to fall for that? I studied too much. I'm too honest. Sometimes my integrity affects my, Don't go there. Make sure you have a real honest weakness that you can talk about. But the skill you use here is called turn negative to positive. Establish the weakness and talk about how you were able to overcome that weakness and you were able to become better. Or at least what you learned in an experience that helped you to identify that weakness and worked on it. Why do you want to work for us? Do you have a clear goal? Has it done research about us? About what we really are looking for? Power statements, but again, at this point, use that alignment part of the power statement to effect, where you are trying to match what you have researched as the company's requirements against a skill and experience, a value that you have to add to the organization. And if you've had any kind of question about how you left the last organization, what happened, what are the circumstances, don't go and start playing all those victim story or those hate speeches that you bring from your anger with your previous boss. Because if you do that, let me tell you, nobody wants even the smartest guy in the room when he does not respect leaders. If you have in anywhere in your mind that somebody above you was wrong at any time in your career, forget it. You made a big mistake. They go wrong, they make mistakes themselves. But when it comes to our relationship with those above us, don't badmouth them, whether in their presence or in their absence. Because you get that attitude, you get into that mental state where you become normally or naturally rebellious. And you have justification for that. And so when you leave and you start badmouthing those that you have left from, these ones don't want to. It's sensitive. You may have some very true story of how there was conflict and all of that, but that's not exactly what they want you to start recounting. Because if you did not learn from that experience so you can bring out the positive sides of it, then of course, they will see you as someone that will be a problem eventually here. In the case of a conflict in the past, oh, well, when I, working in that place, we had this situation that came up. I'm not sure I handled it very well, but this is how it turned out. And this is what I learned from it. You must be able to end with a comment that shows that the bridge was not broken from where you are coming from. You didn't burn the bridge. Because most employers will insist that you go and get a reference from your last boss. So don't even get in the habit of proving right to the point of burning bridges. Leaving without notice, for example. How do you react to pressure? Does he or she take ownership of problems? Power statement again. What do you expect to be paid? Are his expectations reasonable? Now, this is one area where people try to find reasonable wiggle room where you can escape answering it. Many times, I've seen situations where you answer with a question, which is the best thing. What's available? What's the range that this role pays? But some employers will not have it. I've been in interviews where I'm watching HR and the candidate banter over this. You must give us a range. So I'll say this as my own personal advice to you. Work out what a range should be that will make you comfortable. That will make you comfortable and be able to commit to that job. Even when you find out that people below you are earning twice later, don't let it affect you. Why? You're not losing anything. You're not losing anything. In fact, you can move from a 50,000 naira job to a 1 million naira job, whereas somebody who was earning 200,000 is moving to 250 or staying in 200,000. That's the truth of life. Whatever you give as a range, if they don't have the decency to give you what that role should actually give initially, the way you do the job will make them give it to you even after the first year. But if they see you becoming like a dusty, lackluster in performance, they will even be grateful that they were able to negotiate you down. And that's why many people stay in that rat race. You're not paying me enough, so I will not work hard. I will not do well, right? But because you're not doing well, you don't get paid more. And you can only go from where you are to out of job. The mind is killing that individual. So give a range. The range may be wide, may be narrow, but anything within that range is okay, I'll do it. Describe your last major mistake. Turn negative to positive. Is his reason for the mistake logical? Did he learn from it? Have your ideas ever been rejected? Is this person persistent? Is this person positive? Turn negative to positive again. What are your career goals? Will this person help us succeed? Is this person focused? Oh, well, I'm going for an FM role, but you know, my career goal is to become a medical doctor. Okay. You know, we want someone who is going to help us succeed in this organization. And you're going to be distracted studying for medicine or doing things in that line while you're applying for this job. I won't give you that job. And when you get this question of, do you have any questions for me? Never say, I don't have any question. Never. If you want to prove that you care or that you are really interested, you must have a well-crafted question that comes out of your research, from the interviews you've had. In fact, the questions you start throwing back to the interviewers, make them feel that you are already preparing for the role. Questions about how certain things are done, questions about certain, you know, especially if you're coming from FM role and you have the HRO there, you have the FM lead there, you have somebody from senior management there. You know, just having this little back and forth question for the FM, head of FM, for example, shows some interest, shows that you have, you know, some value to bring to the table. If the only question in your mind is, by the way, HR, what are the other benefits that come from this role? Please don't ask it, just for your own good. Because why they ask the question is, does he care? Is he or she interested? If the only question pumping in your heart is, hey, apart from this salary we're just talking about now, is there HMO? Is there car allowance? Is there rent accommodation and all that? They are good questions though, but let them not be your first questions or the only set of questions you have in your head. Because before you even get up from that place, they struck your name out. So study the employer and go prepared to ask good questions. You can also prepare to add a question to a me in 30 seconds or a power statement. For example, what other skills would you like me to talk about? Good questions can create a good conversation. When you go for interviews, don't say it doesn't matter. After it's an engineering job. We dress the way we like. No, there is a pattern to everything. Your attitude, your grooming, and your dressing. If you're religious, please pray for help and peace. If you are not, and you know how to meditate yourself into calmness, please do it. Because being jittery, being anxious, are natural conditions to be in when you are being put under stressful conditions like an interview. But you can acknowledge it, but not let it show. And that's why you need this calm and peaceful disposition. Be polite and respectful. Be on time. In fact, be very, very on time. It is better to have your lunch in a nearby restaurant than to eat it somewhere else and meet a sudden hiccup on the way. Be on time. Nobody appreciates someone who does not value time. Show interest in the company and the interviewer. Now, this is a little bit of a, on the personal side, your interest should not be on, you know, the individual's sexuality, for example. You know, that story of you smell nice and the HRO lady got, you know, really offended and it made the news, right? The person was only trying to show interest in the HRO manager, right? But your kind of interest should be more professional and ethical, not on those, personal space or private areas. A comment like, I look up the profile. I'm really impressed that you've been able to take your master's degree in industrial engineering and use it in facility management as a profession. How does your training in industrial engineering, relate? Are there transferable skills you got from your industrial engineering school days that is helping you to excel in FM today? You blow the mind of that FM recruiter. You're like, oh, this guy really went through my profile and is interested in me. Professionally, fine. On the company, there are so many things. Company's been expanding lately. Are there plans in place to expand spaces, or is it just going to consolidate what we have and optimize the use of the space? Are there any plans to have other locations? Because the numbers are looking good. I look at the audited accounts and it shows that your growth has been minimum 15–20% in the last 3–4 years. And it looks like it's going to get better this year. How is FM as a department supporting this growth of this organization? Oh, boom. You're hot. You're talking. You're automatically seen as a desired candidate. Smile and be pleasant. Act confidently. Speak clearly. On the grooming side, moderate is the solution for everything, especially for ladies. Don't overdo it. All those pumping up cleavages, excessive hairdo, makeup that makes it look like a comedian or TV, a movie star is not necessary when it comes to interviews. And for guys, please be clean. Do not smell. Don't try to use perfume. Some perfume can even irritate people. If you're going to use it at all, make it very mild. If you've not done manicure and pedicure, don't go overboard. Make sure your nails are clean. You see some of those telltale signs. Don't have beards that are untamed. Okay? You have to look like a professional. And when it comes to dressing, we don't always say, go and get some designers. No. In fact, that can put people off. You're applying for a job where we are hoping that we will not pay more than 200K, and they're already seeing something that their GM or ED wears on you. This person will not be here. He won't accept this job. We can't even give him this job. It won't be suitable. And sometimes it is just the way we come in looking rough. No matter how cheap your clothes are, if you wash them and you iron them, you look good in them. And don't go all suited up to corporate for every role you're applying for. If you're not applying for it, every second, right? So don't go casual, don't go too formal, except it's a formal job. The guide is dress one notch above what will be required for that job on a daily basis, one notch above, okay? And then there are forms you need to fill your forms, application forms, fill them correctly. People want to have a chronology of your history. People want to have, some references. Don't say, don't put that, we'll provide references if you ask for it. If you provide reference, provide reference. If you're not providing reference, don't provide references, right? Because references will be contacted, okay? So answer clearly and correctly when you're applying for work so that you can easily be considered. Okay, so you've gotten the job. Yay, congratulations. Just made you an offer. Fantastic offer. And then you resume on the job. Some people got an offer that was nasty, a really large offer, because they did very well in the interview. But then on the job, they begin to flounder. See, when an employer employs you and makes an offer to you, he is making a gamble in every instance. And the gamble is this. At the beginning on the job, you are not giving value when you are still going through orientation, you are still being taught the ropes. You are actually overpaid, no matter how small the pay is. Over time, the expectation is that you will begin to provide value because now you know how to do the job. Now you are showing commitment and loyalty to the business. Your value is beginning to match what you are being paid. As you progress on that job, you get to a point where your efforts and results begin to supersede the amount you are being paid. So the organization begins to get a lot more from your efforts and your service. So the employer that employs you and agrees to pay you a certain amount is looking forward to a certain time when he will be able to get value for that initial investment. So you're leaving, being let go within a short while will be seen as a recruitment error that employers don't want to encounter. Now, the worst part is they give you all this training, leave you on the job and try to guide you to begin to produce value, and then you begin to flip-flop and flounder and start showing lack of commitment and loyalty. And then they see you again as what? A recruitment error. Opportunities are passed by to start with. You are relegated to a certain plateau, not promoted, not make progress. And when there's any opportunity to exit you, they jump at it. So getting the job is just one aspect, and we have trashed that thoroughly to this point. Staying on the job, excelling at the job, and growing to arrive at your dream destination is even more important. There are people that don't leave one job and stay at home looking for another job. What they do to ensure that they're leaving one job into another job that is paying them more is what we're going to discuss next. Many of us never got this training from anywhere. So we just get into the job and we do it the way we were told. We do it until they're tired of us and they tell us they're downsizing and no longer need us. And we go home and say, that's my job. After 9 years, see, they just fired me. There's nothing I'm doing again. I'm looking for another job. You can't have 5 years of experience in any job, lose it, and not find another one and say you are not useless. There is a large pool of jobs out there. Jobs pools are changing in nature over the years.
Now because PM will be outside.
The individuals who are looking for work are not matched to the job pool. That's what's called unemployment in society. Those individuals who are not matched to the job pools are not doing enough to match themselves to specific job vacancies. Many don't even know how to research industries that have vacancies. When we sell facility management training to people, it almost looks like, please come and train, or there's opportunity in facility management. I go like, no. I'll be a project manager, I will be a this, I will be a that. Okay. You can have an industry that has such a huge demand and then decide to go for something that is already saturated. Or you take up a job in the industry because you were found useless in the core business in the first place. The banks would transfer their worst people to FM. The insurance company will transfer their own productive people to FM, to maintenance. That's how all the companies do, because who else are we going to use in FM? Please come and be coordinating cleaners so that we'll not fire you. And still not learn the things that will help you excel in this job. So step one, build your network, make contacts, associate with the industry you are in. Sometimes I just think about some very large conglomerates in Nigeria. Their FM function fully staffed by people who feel like we shouldn't belong to the professional bodies. We know what we are doing. We're fine like this. We have our internal training system. It works for us. How is that helping you as an individual? If there is any dislocation tomorrow, who do you know in the industry that you can contact or talk to? Some jobs that you find yourself in will not be public facing. It will be behind the scenes, in the basement, your utility room, your office in the control panel. You have to be deliberate about building your social professional network. LinkedIn is a powerful tool. Professional bodies, Nigeria FM associations, international franchises of international FM associations, please be in it. Participate, be active, volunteer, be useful. Be on those platforms where people are throwing questions and people are throwing answers. You don't know how that goes. Sometimes I would just look at the Max-Migold FM Diploma Alumni platform. Massive professional networking. Massive. We have reached a point where somebody is being promoted or exiting one role to another, and is asked, we need to find a replacement. You've been too good. Thank God you're moving to progress, but you need to help us when finding a replacement. He calls into his platform, I have a vacancy. Please, if you're interested, show interest. He replaces himself with his network. People have problems they want to solve in their facilities. Problems that when you prefer your native intelligence solution, might look at you as useless. Throw it in your platform and your networks, and you hear professional expertise being shared. So don't take it for granted. You see all these accountants, they join ICANN. Everybody has one profession or the other. But go and check FMs who, by the way, found themselves in FM in the first place. Ask them where the professional body. They are not there. Even the HR department is confused, doesn't know where to send them for training. Because you've never written one day to say, oh, we have a professional body meeting. We have an African FM conference in Abuja. How many attended? When the whole Africa came together. The World Workplace of IFMA happens in the US every year. We have chapter meetings of our various associations, whether virtual or physical. Please attend, network, know people, exchange contacts, share information, benchmark. You are not only elevating yourself within your organization and showing that you are professionalizing that place where they dumped you, where you found yourself, like we say. But you're also sharing best practices and showing your relevance to the network. So if anything happens and your job no longer exists in the current organization, it won't take you 1-2 months to find another organization that needs your skill, because they've interacted with you, they know what you can do. You've been in one committee or the other, you've done something that shows you have value. And they can say, I know you, compared to someone who has not professionalized to this extent, coming for that job. Communicate clearly with others and show a good attitude and appearance. Your job is not one of the less important things in your life. Give it that level of relevance by showing up well for it. Even if it's a low-paying job, don't go there looking tattered. Work hard and prove your value to your employer. Your value to your employer lies around these 3 areas: revenue increase, containment of costs, and ensuring that you have happy customers who have good experiences and will come back and refer others. So even if you're just a cleaning supervisor, you have a role to play here. If not in all 3, in at least 2. Your attitude is everything. If you're a negative person, start working on that negativism, because you need to be positive to be successful in this profession. Stay on the path of progress. Now I've just learned how to acquire the job. I moved on to learning how to keep the job, hold it. That's what we just finished now. But am I going to stay on this position forever? Am I going to retire at 65 here in this position? No, no way. Immediately you arrive in the new job, immediately you settle in, establish yourself in this new position, you immediately start planning where you want to be next. I have a rule of thumb of 5 years. If you're in one position for 5 straight years and you don't think there's something wrong, you have a problem. Big problem. The brain shut down. You're no longer acting, you're now being acted upon. And when you are being acted upon, downwards or out is only where you can go. Upward movement contains resistance. Even gravity by nature will resist upward movement. So you have to be deliberate about moving upwards. So what do? What skills do you want? What positions do you want? See, the positions you are aspiring to next from where you are will most likely be in your organization. A supervisor, a coordinator, an assistant manager, a manager. It's fine. But from day one, as you're settling in, tell yourself, I want to do so well so that I can become this in, say, 3 years, 5 years, 2 years, never more than 5 years. You must have something that moves you away into a better position. 5 years, snap time. But you see, you cannot just covet positions, because that's where many people have a problem. They go praying about positions to the point where it now almost looks as if it is magic or miracle when you don't merit it. Of course, I believe in grace, I believe in mercy. but we all pray for the same thing. And who do you think God gives grace and mercy more? There are people who are doing things to grab it fast. It works better for them than the one who sits down. Don't improve. Other than just to hope and pray. No progress in life comes on a platter of gold. Even if you have those uncles and aunties in high places, it's never forever. They will not be there to hold your hand to help you do the job. Network to make your own path. No. In fact, when you are being propped into positions, you become even more useless over time. You must, for every next level position, identify the skills and the knowledge you will need. And one way to identify those skills is to look at the person who is the incumbent in that position right now. Can I take a little break, please? Disrupted maybe for a minute or two again, but let's go on. Hello, are we all there?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes,
good.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Good, fantastic.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good, thank you. So once you have an idea of who is occupying that position now, that people are saying the man is doing well or the woman is doing well, learn how that person has come, what experiences the person has had, what training and skills the person has had, and so on and so forth. Those will give you one bit of an insight on some things you can start building on. Then two, look at standard or best practice organizations, how they fill people into that kind of position, and start building your own path to that position. Because the position you want may not always be within the organization you are working for. I have a friend. He wanted to become a branch manager in the bank he is working for. But he knows that it typically takes about 11 years of grueling work to become a branch manager in his bank. So you know what he did? He planned and positioned himself, trained and qualified to become a head of operations in another bank. So from a banking officer with 2 years of training and skills acquisition, he knows that other bank will take him as HOP. He applied and he was moved. He did that job so well that he knew now that if he applied back to his bank for branch manager position, after 2 years, he will get it. That's how he circumvented 11 years career moves to 4 years. He became a branch manager. That was his goal. Most people don't have deep insights enough about where the next move should be. You ask somebody, so what's the next thing? Now you are the officer, you are this. You say, I don't know, anywhere my say I should go. No. No. That's a failing mindset. It's a failing mindset. Sometimes I have this one-on-one with people or have an appraisal session and ask, you see where the business is, you know what our organogram looks like, what area would you like to position yourself, in what way would you like to grow to become, I'll just be working, I will do whatever they ask me to do. Any position they give me, I will take. Hey. Because if you don't have a vision or a clear idea of that place where you want to go, you're not going to be developing the skills, building the experiences deliberately. So if there's no objective, what skills are you going to list? How will you start finding ways to gain those skills? You'll just be working. And then because technology is a very potent enabler of progress, conversance or knowledge of technology is going to help you a lot. You need to be able to keep aware of changing technology and software. Okay, so I'm going to talk briefly. The content I have. Hello, are we together still?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fantastic. I'm going to just point you at certain skills that easily stand you out in your work environment, okay? I've made them so rich in content and easy to follow that we may not have the time to break them down slide by slide, okay? The reason is, let me give you a little background to this. Some of you might have heard this story about a merchant who has two attendants that were employed the same day. When the attendants came in, they were put on the same wage scale. After a while, one started earning more, started being promoted, started getting bigger responsibilities, and so on and so forth. And the second became so worried, went to the boss and says, why am I being sidelined so badly? We were employed the same day. We are supposed to be on the same level. Why are you being so unfair in the way you are treating me? The boss says, am I being unfair? He says, yes, I think you are being unfair. He says, okay, I want you to reason this again after this assignment I'm going to give you. Sends both of them into the market and says, please go into the market and find out if the fruiting season has commenced. Watermelon is available in the market. So you can stock our shop. They both go into the market, come back a few hours later, and the guy who's been complaining about being marginalized and not being given fair treatment and so on said, boss, there's watermelon. Season is here. There's so much watermelon in the market. Is that all? He says, yes, thank you. The second man, what did you find? What's your report? There was watermelon everywhere in the market, but there are 11 merchants in the market who are wholesalers. I talked to each one of them and found out that 2 of them can guarantee our stock requirements if we can make a financial commitment to secure the stock for the next 12 weeks. Thank you very much. The boss points to the other man. Can you tell the difference between the assignment I gave to both of you? Sir, no difference. It was the same assignment you gave to us. Can you tell the difference between how you delivered it versus how this person you are saying is getting undue favoritism from me delivered it? And then he went quiet. This is just a simple way to show that everybody, I believe in favors, I believe in luck, I believe in all of those things that come with life, right? But those things like luck happen more to people who are prepared, who put themselves in situations where luck can shine on them. So we need to actually reappraise how we do the things we do. So this aspect of workplace productivity is all about delivering value with the time that we are given in the workplace. The first one is report writing. So much about report writing that many people have jobs that, because they've not been required to write reports, they are not even writing reports. And for some, they write long verbal statements as reports, nothing that can be tracked or trended. So some of these keys to effective report writing, please read them. It's almost like bringing you back instructions from grammar books and Queen Premier and some of those things we use when we're in school. But please pay attention to every line item put in here. It's what is going to differentiate the kind of employee you are. A productive, value-adding employee, or a wasteful, nonchalant, non-caring, uncommitted employee. Okay? So all of these keys to effective writing, read them, apply them. If you have questions, please drop the questions in the WhatsApp platform. I would definitely be happy to chip in. I've always been very passionate about writing to represent yourself professionally. Don't say, oh, because it's facility management, we are not communication experts. No, you are supposed to be a communication expert because you need to make sense. You need to convince management to spend large amounts of money. You need to convince people that you are competent enough to execute and implement such things, that you will not make mistakes with little grammatical errors and transfer that same lack of attention to detail, like we say, to major project and mess us up. Okay? Proposals that you put together must have a pattern. If you are writing a proposal, ensure that the proposal states the problem. It also analyzes the current situation, identifies the risk, and brings options, brings up options, identifies the risk within option, does this pros and cons analysis of every option. So you don't always come out with, this is what I think is the solution to the problem. There are so many ways to kill a rat, they say, right? You must analyze all of them and have reasons why you are choosing the particular one that you are going for. And then there is this popular writing tool, the email. Email has become where most of us start and end our day's job. And we don't know that email has rules, has productivity tricks, has things you can do with it and things you cannot do with it. So go through all of this. And many of us transfer the way we speak to our writing. Look, with all my experience with writing in the English language, I still use editing tools. I can't do without them. I can't send out any, okay? And then learn how to use, words, create patterns, have understanding of how you use certain punctuations in your writing and what they mean, okay? When you write for management review, even if the writing is a very long, detailed analysis and write-up, you must ensure that you provide an executive summary. It is written last, it summarizes everything, and if that's the only page management can look through, it should convey your message. So instructions on how to put together an executive summary to get management attention is all here. How to write to meet deadlines to ensure that you don't, delay is very important, okay? You can't submit things in the last minute and be sure it's right because you won't have enough time to edit it and correct them. Some examples, some adjustments. Some of us like to write with so many words. You write and you want to impress with how much grammar you can put in. Not necessary. Nobody's impressed by how many words you added, especially when you are used to adding meaningless words to what you write. So please read through most of this. There's one item I don't want to miss out, and that's on the meeting minutes, organizing meetings rather, because meetings have become one big drain on organization's time. Every time you hold a meeting and you have 10, 20 people in the meeting and you're wasting everybody's time, do a multiplication of everybody's hours. That's what you're doing. So before you set up a meeting, make sure the date, time, location, estimated duration of the meeting, the purpose of the meeting, advanced preparation guidelines that includes what each person will contribute to the meeting is sent out in advance of that meeting. Okay. Ensure that you provide agenda, and people should contribute agenda into the agenda list, not any other business. AOB is a criminal thing that we put in our minutes, in our meetings. People keep their agenda item that they have been the only one that have processed. They've done their homework about it. They throw it into the meeting and the minutes will read as if we all agreed to do this. So instead, send the agenda out, let people contribute agenda items that we can all have a pre-knowledge of. In fact, if you're given an assignment in a meeting to create a certain writing or report, don't bring that report or writing to the meeting. Make sure that that writing or report that was mandated in the last meeting gets to everybody in good time before even the agenda of the next meeting. Or in the worst case scenario, it is sent with the agenda of the next meeting. So that when that item is being entered as an agenda item, we all have that item. Don't be privy to any meeting where you are discussing an agenda item that you are seeing for the first time. You can't discuss something. You can't be part of a discussion that is just happening to you, okay? All right, I think that's going to be all that I'm going to cover. I'm going to stop at this point and call for questions, okay? Anybody in the house? This one, everybody are on ghost mode. Can I see some faces?
Yeah, we are here, sir.
Let me see some faces now, please.
Here,
Smile for me. Nice one. Smile for me, please.
We're here.
Before I have a class of 40-something, it looks as if I'm the only one here. I hope we all got something from today's lesson.
Very well, sir.
Yes, we did.
So no matter where you are in your career, this lesson is a reference point. At any point, you can get back to this lesson and draw some power. Yes, Bamidele, let's hear from you.
Hello, thank you, Mr. Paul. Thank you. I really enjoyed today's class, and it's more of a lesson that makes you think and beyond just working the technical and what have you. So I think for facility. For Facility Maintenance Association, I've been trying to reach out to them. They've not really responded to my request as per joining. Like you sent a link on the Telegram group. Hello? So, and which I called and everything. So I don't know where I am. I'm in Port Harcourt. I wish I could attend association to relate with physically with my colleagues and what have you, but I've not been able to do that.
Did you join the Telegram group?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so that's the first point, right? The next thing is to register on the website, facilities.com.ng, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you pay your dues and get your certificates, a bit delayed, but you get it. That's the starting point. We are a new national body. I'm the national vice president. It's a new body.
Okay.
So if you're in my network, you are already close to the top already. If there is anything you need about the association, please just chat me directly, okay?
Okay, all right.
You have an inside scoop or anytime, okay?
All right. Thank you.
But at least you're enjoying the interactions that's going on in the Instagram, in the Telegram group, right?
Yes, but I would prefer physical.
I know.
And having
when we had a conference in November, you were not there yet, right?
You said what?
We had a 2-day conference in November. You were not in the group yet then.
Yes.
We're having another one this November. We'll soon start marketing that. We'll be able to, see all of us live maybe it's in Lagos this time. We'll even bring it to Lagos to get a bigger house.
Okay, and we should encourage monthly meetings, and it might start in small units, but as time goes on, we'll grow.
You are very correct. Thank you for that. Thank you for that update. That advice.
And I'll be a volunteer if you want to set it up. Sir.
Super. See, let me tell you, where you are in Port Harcourt right now, we have so many FMs there.
Yeah, so many.
Organized. You understand?
Yeah, it's just scattered all over.
Yes. In the council, we actually have a 3-year goal, mission to have the regional councils created, regional chapters created. We're supposed to have 6 regions created for the national body. So between now and next year, we should be able to get that off the ground. Okay.
All right. We'll look forward to that.
Since you are close to me, I'll be able to take you up on your offer.
All right. We look forward to that, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being in this class. I look forward to seeing you again in the next class. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
So you don't try to unbuild that. We see whether it will work.